Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Total War Warhammer 2, where I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, man, I thought this was going to be easy, huh? I am feeling less certain now. I will say, it's going to be pretty hard for us to deal with that dragon. We don't have nearly the number of guns that I'm used to having for fighting dragons, but I suppose we have more melee. Like, eagles are actual terrible garbage units when trying to fight melee. I've seen eagles lose to units of archers. So the eagles are less dangerous, actually, with more melee, probably. They only have one unit of ranged. They do have some cavalry, but we have some proper polearms. Burke Black is probably a pretty good polearm fighter. Yeah, the thing we could do here is we could retreat. If Burke Black backs up, then it may be the case that Teferi does not have the movement range necessary to chase him, and so would have to initiate battle against the settlement garrison, which would mean we get to use our walls and stuff. But if Burke Black moves, it's going to cancel all of his recruiting. All of those units that he is going to finish recruiting at the beginning of our turn, we'd have to start their recruit all over again. So I think it's probably better to stand and fight this and hope that we can pull it off. We do have a gunnery wight in the garrison to help us snipe the dragon down. We can probably do this. The garrison army also has a mortar, although it's probably worth noting that none of those units are going to start on the battlefield, so we're going to want to start all the way up against the wall that they come in from and hopefully get our reinforcements before any of the elves are upon us. That shouldn't be too hard to do. This is a pretty slow-moving army. Like, they could rush us with the dragons and the eagles, but I think the dragon is certainly going to be more effective if they let some of their other troops engage us first. And the swordmasters are faster than my guys, but not fast, you know? Oh, also, Burke has spells. That's right. I forgot about that. I'm fine with 14. Let's all just be over here. Generally over here. I'm going to have the bloated corpse hiding in the trees nearby, but not actually right on top of us. If we can get the bloated corpse into a group of swordmasters, we can probably get some really good value out of him. We know they're going to come over here, set up the gunnery mob here, and just like the deckhands. Ordinarily, I would set the deckhands up on the side of the map that goes toward the rest of the enemies, or, you know, the more open side of the gunnery line, but I don't want to move him any closer to the bloated corpse. Alright, let's do this. So our two spells are Aspect of the Dread Knight, which will help one of our units recover their leadership, and also potentially drive off their attackers, and Spirit Leech, which does a lot of damage versus single targets. So good for sniping characters, good for sniping dragons and stuff. It looks like they do plan to just ride on us immediately. I do not think that is the right play for them, but I'm happy to let them make it. Yeah, they're bringing the cavalry and stuff as fast as they can. Okay, we got to get these guns into position quickly. A little tough, though. There's not a lot of good places to put guns over here. Well, if fan out like this, they're going to be able to come through the trees and come up pretty close on us. So we're going to need to make sure that that side is covered. Depth guard plus the gunnery wight kind of in the middle is a good idea. The depth guard with the polearms plus you guys with the polearms over here. Actually, I'm going to have the deckhands with the polearms go more center, just because I don't think they'll be able to get over here. And then probably a lot of these normal, just kind of like get over here. Yeah. Alright, who does not have orders yet? We have some normal depth guard. Some non-polearm depth guard that probably should just get into position to fight enemies that have already engaged with other things. Oh, they stopped moving forward. Seems like they wised up a little bit. Alright, we have our deck dropper bombers. I'm really not sure how we want to use these, but I do know I don't want to get involved in combat with the dragons. I would love to start firing the mortars immediately, but we need to make sure that they are in a position that is protected.
Gunnery mob zombies.
He's going to reveal our bloated corpse. If he goes into battle with our bloated corpse and causes it to explode on just an eagle, I'm going to be very upset. No, run, run, don't engage. Refuse to engage. Oh, that is really shitty. Are you guys not shooting at the eagle? Alright, well, maybe, hold on. Now, at this point, start shooting at the eagles may be a bad play. Let's finish this guy off. I'm going to have Burke Black just kind of run out there. I trust him. He can do this. Actually, the thing he needs to do most is get Spirit Leech onto that dragon. And over here, the archers are doing archer stuff that is very annoying to me. I don't have time for them right now. Hold on. So we do have direct line of sight to them. It sure looks like they're planning to rush us with these dragon princes from the side, though, and that's probably the thing that the gunners need to be focused on right now. Where is my polearm depth guard? Oh, I gave them their orders and then gave them different orders because they're between the other two units of polearms. Well, that's not very good. Alright, the bombers are just waiting for the enemy to get involved. The mortar needs to start shooting at the sisters, and we are in trouble. It's gonna be tough. Right, go ahead and engage them in the trees if you can. Alright, that eagle's dead. Try to back the gunners off if they will follow orders. Burke Black probably has this under control. Yeah, look at how screwed up those guys are. I'm going to Aspect of the Dread Knight them real quick just to try to put their leadership back up. And this is probably the moment for the shanty. Alright, you guys need to get over here. As much as I don't want to take a charge from some Dragon Princes directly into my Depth Guard, looks like we're going to have to. We're getting some good damage out here already. No, did you not? Did you not cast that? He was just like, nah. Nah, I don't feel like casting that. Well, okay, I guess that's a thing you're allowed to say. So yeah, the eagle is dead because, or the eagle's running off already because eagles are terrible. It looks like this unit of Silverhelms is already broken. You guys, man, what am I going to do with these pistol gunnery mobs? They're not going to be any good against the sword masters. I guess we can march them forward, like try to get a flank and shoot at the sisters, because they really, really can't do any damage to a dragon. The handgunners obviously are great in this capacity, but you guys are doing that. You guys have to back up. Gunnery mob is still, or Gunnery White is still on his nonsense. We do need to start running the deckhands forward. So we can actually have the Sirens. I'm gonna have the Sirens fall back. They're taking fire from the Sisters of Avalorn, which is bad. They could be a little more useful over here, and this is probably under control, so I'm actually going to try to have as many of our gunnery handgunner guys as possible turn on that dragon. If we can get through the dragon, the fight is probably pretty much over. Alright, can I cast on those guys? No, I'm just not allowed to use that spell. I'm not 100% sure what's going on here. It's telling me that I am failing to cast, but it's not giving me a lot of information on why that would be. Oh yeah, you guys. You guys, first of all, need to run away from that eagle. Eagle's terrible, but I'm sure it's good enough to defeat deck droppers. Having some loyalty problems over here. No, not much to be done for the moment. When the Dragon Princes break, we can reinforce with these guys. But I need them to actually break. We should not do this any earlier than that. And you just want to get behind these guys. Okay, Dragon's dead. Great.
They shall fall at once.
Sorry, Dragon's fleeing but not dead. I'm gonna spirit bomb it here. Yep, Spirit Bomb. That's the name of that spell. There we go. Now the dragon's dead. Now let's get the rest of these gunners over into positions where they're going to be a little bit more useful. Silver Helms aren't actually that heavily armored. We could probably try to bash these guys up. Depth Guard are actually in behind some melee enemies. Like, this is the first time we've ever actually gotten to use these guys the way they were probably intended to be used. We just need the handgunners to get into positions where they can be firing into people's backsides, I suppose. Okay, you also probably need to, like, try to get over here. Gunnery White dealt with the one important target. I suppose we can try to take this guy down. And I'm going to... See, this Deckhand Mob is probably just going to die soon, so I'm going to hit that one with the buff, provided that I am allowed to cast the buff this time. You lot should all be headed over here. I guess for the moment, try to finish off the eagle. Once that eagle's down, we're going to have a lot easier time of things. Yeah, it looks like our deck dropper bombers remarkably didn't get to do a lot here. Actually, just walk forward a little bit and shoot those archers in the face.
Blood dispel! Let it begin! No mercy!
Okay, we are shooting Burke Black directly in the back of the head with the mortars. That's a problem, I guess.
A curse on you! I'll gut them!
It'd be really cool if you guys could not give up. Sisters are almost dead. I think Burke's got that under control. So this side is going pretty well, but we need to move our handgunners. They are not actually getting to contribute very much. Although it looks like these swordmasters have exposed a flank to me. Well, they're going to regret that. You probably need to start shooting in here. You guys probably need to start shooting into here. I want to move them forward through the trees, but obviously that's going to make them so vulnerable. You know what? Honestly, I'm going to start shooting the mortars at close range here. That's maybe not totally ideal, but we do need to start getting rid of some of these enemy units. And we're going to have to pull Burke back pretty soon.
Enemies quail!
He's not like Silostra in invincibility, and he's not like Lenny in terms of being able to endlessly heal himself. He needs to actually, like, get out of here. Alright, the good news is he can certainly go fight some archers. And not in any danger on that one. Why are these handgunners even... Okay. You guys, turn around. I see what you're doing, but turn around. Alright. Shoot those guys in the back. Looks like we're starting to get some decent damage out here. My Depth Guard are getting absolutely shredded. Swordmasters are tough, man. They're tough dudes. Let's redirect the mortars over to here. Right, make that stop happening. There we go. Good gunfire volleys. That'll take him down pretty quick. The Gunnery White can hold his own for a moment. Alright, looks like they're feeling like they may have made an error here. That was a little closer than I thought it was going to be at the end of yesterday's recording, but honestly, a little better than I thought it was going to be at the beginning of today's recording. You know what I think it is? What caused my problem here is that yesterday I was all high off of a series of victorious battles. Today, I do not have all of that extra confidence. I think that's for the best, but still causes some strange stuff to happen. So yeah, look at this. Swordmasters are really, really good units. The good news, if you want to see it that way, is that almost none of the good units that we lost were actually part of Burke Black's army, so they'll regenerate for free. We'll get all those Depth Guard back. The bad news is that means Burke Black's army has no Depth Guard in it, so in that way it's kind of disappointing. Alright, extra 1,280 gold. And now his now all of those recruitments are going to finish for him, which is pretty great. Boy, they are acting like they want to fight that again. They must not know how close his musters are to completion. He's going to be able to wipe out both of those armies completely trivially. That is a good start. We still are going to have to deal with the Tor Sathai problem, and eventually with Tyrion himself. And probably we're going to have to do it without Silostra, because she is busy. But that's alright. I have the utmost faith in Lenny. Lenny the Clotter over here. It is a little strange to me that, like, two of our main... We don't really have that many important characters. That two of our main dudes are named Lenny. It's just like, it's like John among vampire, pirate, undead monster guys. Also, man oh man do I love that I get to play a faction of vampire, pirate, undead monster guys. This game just keeps getting better and better. So, was that hero's first name Bonehard? Listen, I know we're all undead and everything, but there are still rules of decorum. You can't be Bonehard von Karstein.
I have performed to royalty.
Oh, Bleakholds, I do not think you should tempt me. I think it would be unwise for you to open yourself up to my violence. Fortunately, it looks like they're at war with those Khemri that are up there, wrapped all around them. So I suspect they don't have the time to come and fight us, even if that really is their plan. Alright, Baron von Heasty. Okay, he's just going straight for it. Well, the bad news for him is that we are going to completely murder him. Boy, he's got some army here, though. Ooh, he's got a Necrofex Colossus. That's a little scary. He has a Vargulf, which is... I mean, you're going to see it in a second. We're definitely doing this manually. Deathshriek Terrorgeist, a Rotting Leviathan. This is a very monstery army. A couple of units of gunnery mobs mounted on the back of Rotting Prometheans. Yeah, this is a cool army. I wish I could field an army like this. Just straight vampire count units to supplement my other stuff. Because boy oh boy, let me tell you something. I would love some Graveguard. Graveguard are way better than Depth Guard. Much, much better at surviving. And they have their own ethereal dudes, which I think they're going to be very disappointed in the effectiveness of. There are a lot of things you can bring to battle that might stand a chance against Silostra. I think armies that are a little bit more wood elfy in their composition could still be a problem. We could still be challenged. But man, you do not want to come over here with ghosts. Bring in ghosts against me. That is just never going to work. Alright, the bad news is, this is really awkward terrain for my rifles. The good news is, they do not have any artillery at all. Certainly nothing analogous to a Queen Bess. So I think what we're going to do here is just back up a little bit. We can play this back at in a place where there is a bunch of open territory in front of us. If we tried to line up right across the front of the zone, the hill would prevent me from seeing the enemy before they got in up on us. So they do have some serious fast-moving units. We do actually have to care about a potential cavalry flank or something. Oh, we have these deck gunners. I'm not really sure what to do with them. But that's right. I forgot to do my my very handy thing. We should move him over a little bit so that his aura is still around the Queen Bess. We're going to do the handy thing where you get to set up your units with actual melee mixed in with the ranged. You know what? I'm just going to throw the melee actually into the ranged. Part of the reason you don't generally want to do this is it's tough for units to move through each other sometimes, but that's mostly true of units that are bound up really tightly in the first place. There's so much space in our gunnery mobs that I think we can move through them just fine. Alright, I think this is a fine place to start this. Our settlement garrison is going to come in behind them and just get absolutely annihilated. I am not going to attempt to save them. If they wanted to live, they should have been smarter than that. Okay, so let's talk about this thing. Look at that. Whoa. Oh, right, they do have artillery. The Necrofex Colossus. Well, I want I want one of those real bad. Okay, let's... How are we gonna target our dudes? Probably the Graveguard are some of the most dangerous units they have. I'm not too worried about the Wraiths and stuff. Yeah, let's focus on the Graveguard with the mortars. And do I want to just fire the Queen Bess at the Necrofex Colossus? My concern here is that, obviously, artillery is better against things that aren't single targets. Yeah, let's just do this. And you can go ahead and fire off your buff. And you guys can try to escape. I guess that's not going to work. You guys are screwed. Have fun. I suppose the more enemy units they pull off, the better it is. We're gonna try to get the deck droppers totally clear of this debacle. We don't want to fly directly toward our army with them though, because the enemy has actual flying units, and these guys, Vargeists rather, are actually remarkably good fighters. Look at how muscular and also terrifying they are. We do not stand a chance if we get into melee with them. Then they have this thing, the Rotting Leviathan. That's a concern. I mean, we got a lot of guns. We're going to do the same thing to this that we do to everything else. We also have the Vargulf to worry about. A Vargulf is a pretty terrifying monster, and it's tough as hell, but Vargulfs have serious leadership problems. I'm sure we will be able to panic that thing. No doubt in my mind. Let's find a nice unarmored group of foes to fire our Zhufbar 42-pounders into. Okay, that was reasonable damage. So these crypt ghouls here may look pretty large, and they do have regeneration and stuff, but like a fair number of the spooky monster units, the vampire counts can field really, really not a lot of leadership. Seems like they don't have much of an interest in turning around to stop our deck droppers. Alright, getting pretty close to firing range. Seems like they are, in fact, going to attempt the cavalry flank. We must be ready with polearm. Also, I should probably just go ahead and reload the Queen Bess already. Yeah, I think we're just waiting. We don't want to start summoning stuff until they're actually in gunnery range. I don't want them to get distracted out there. Look at the synchronized firing. That's got to be kind of terrifying to have to deal with. Oh, they're wheeling back around. They seem uncertain of which angle they want to charge. Okay, so all of you guys, gunnery white included, this is the foe. Do not let that thing get anywhere near me. You guys over here, we need to focus up on the giant crab. I don't want to have to fight that. And then it is time. It is time for Silostra to charge forward. It is time for Robert to charge forward and find himself something to fight over here on the flanks. It's time for the bodies to start rising. They do have an actual, like, monster dragon, too. I haven't really been acting like that's a big deal, but it is. Wow. Look at the... Apparently Necrofex Colossi are not actually that tough. Alright, I appreciate what you guys over here have done. That was some good work. Time for a new target. Somebody's gonna have to kill the Terrorgeist. Yeah, high veterancy gunfire or rifle volleys are just unbelievably powerful. Really, really great. It looks like we've actually pretty much defeated the Hex Wraiths over here. I was not expecting that. I thought for sure because this army, remember, doesn't have the magic damage. Looks like we can probably just bail on that. Robert needs to hit somebody in the back, probably the Crypt Horrors, actually. Silostra needs to distribute herself some Sword of Cain magic. I do not care about their deckhand mob. Let's hit some Graveguard with this or something. Alright. I think she should be able to take out a Vargulf pretty easily. And it is definitely time for crabs. Okay, wow, their Leviathan's already dead. Deckhand Mob, go get him. I mean, he's falling apart as he approaches us. Never mind, Deckhand Mob, turn around. They were waiting for exactly that moment. I'm having such a hard time selecting Will. Also, Will, Cackle Fruit. This is the moment. This is the time for the Cackle Fruit. The deck gunners need to also focus up on the Terrorgeist. We're going to need some bodies over here. The middle part of the battle seems to not really be a big deal. I think we can probably afford to reassign some people. They kind of gave up on this flank. They charged us with the Vargeists, but it turns out Vargeists are good fighters, but they don't have a lot of health. We could shoot over at the Crypt Horrors. Silastra can absolutely kill these two monsters on her own because she's a total nightmare. Like, no two ways about that. I think I'm going to have these units of gunners up on the side. I guess move forward a little bit and start trying to provide a flanking angle over here. You guys, make sure those Vargeists go down. And while we're here, may as well, like, drop this thing. I did kind of fire that toward my own guys, didn't I? A little non-ideal. Some parts of that didn't work out the way I wanted. You know what, Silastra, get over here. Some more crabs and then run. I need Silastra over here where containment is breaking in a way that I'm not comfortable with. Also, probably past time for the shanty. Alright, debuffs for them, buffs for us. Let's do this. Oh no, my Deckhand Mob! Please don't die. I spent so long building you up. Alright, I think it's probably time for all of these gunners to turn and face the situation over here. Vargeists are way too healthy. I do not want to lose a lot of artillery crew on this. So what else do we have available? We do have some reasonable magic. Are these guys running away? They are running away. So if I was going to try to tide call them, I want to do it like that. I haven't used tide call in forever, it feels like. The Sirens need to just keep pushing. It looks like we are winning our battle over here pretty handily. No big surprises. These two might not be needed. These handgunners, just shoot that vampire in the back when you get over there. I believe in you. I know you can do it. Alright, she's doing an okay job. Actually, she needs to stay in here on these Vargeists. Actually, let's have the Depth Guard run around here, because it looks like the Vargeists are done for. Some more Knights out here. Have them charge into the backside of these guys. Okay. I think this is under control. It doesn't look that under control, but I think we're gonna be okay. We definitely took more damage this battle than we usually do. You guys could probably turn and fire into that gunnery mob. Silastra has gotten distracted. Oh no, all of the enemies she was fighting crumbled. Never mind. Looks like the only thing left is their admiral. Well, you lot can back off. I think Silastra's got this under control. Provided that there's anything left of him by the time she gets there. I mean, you gotta give him points for guts, though. This is a crazy thing to do. Yep, that's why. kind of exactly what I was thinking. Everybody's sort of shooting into Silostra's backside. Whatever, she's fine. He is standing tough, isn't he? She's gonna have to hit him like 4 times by the time this is over. Those handgunners, they're not even actually coming. Or pistoliers, rather. They just completely gave up. Alright, well that's the last of those annoying sea shanty armies. Never have to deal with that again. I think we did actually lose our deckhand polearm mob. Yeah. That's a shame. Those guys have been with us forever. It was probably time to upgrade. The Sirens are rapidly careening toward gold ranks. Almost all of our handgunners are gold ranks now. I will say, they put up more of a fight than I thought they were going to. This is a good example of how, like, an army that has a lot of fast units could still be a real problem for us. I have really not put enough melee into my armies to deal with flankers and stuff. Because Silostra has thus far been able to handle it all either personally or with summoned units. We are rolling in cash right now. Got ourselves an opal amulet, which does what? What on earth does an opal amulet actually do? Okay. Lothern is confederating up all of the little elf factions. Seems reasonable to me. We got our Lost Sea Shanty. What region is under attack? Okay, a region far away from me that I don't care about. And, finally, what does this thing do? Okay. It's 22 damage resistance about a third of the time. 22% ward save, effectively. That's pretty good. Alright, so Burke now has some actual units over here. I'm going to throw Jim Androff into his army for right now. We are about to generate ourselves some XP. And these armies have both force marched over to us, so they aren't going to be able to stop us from killing them. 360 is not a lot of gold. I think I'll actually take the replenishment.
More blood, more power.
Got ourselves a scroll of shielding, which is bad. Pretty weak item.
Ours is the sea.
Who the real star is.
I'm sure they had a good idea going when they ran over here, and they're recruiting very elite units. Like, each one of these elven bodies is worth like 10 of mine, but... Oh, I just clicked the wrong button. Well, I guess we're fighting it. Yeah, each one of these elven bodies is worth like 10 of mine at least, but the numbers still don't work out in their favor. We have way more than 10 times as many bodies as they do. Yeah, this obviously was not... I did not intend to fight this manually. There's very little value for us in fighting this manually. And man, Burke really needs handgunners. Look at how bad his army is. Okay, well, unfortunately, I think all we can really do is kind of start in a ball around the artillery to prevent the elves from getting in on them. We're so slow moving that I don't even want to start in a position where I could move to defend the artillery, because we can't, we actually can't move around. Okay, that's not bad. And then, the one unit of handguns can be real close so that they can fall back. The units of pistols, it kind of doesn't matter where they are. I guess they get to just serve as extra mass around the mortar clump. You can kind of be in here, you be on this side. Okay. Not going to be a very complicated battle here. Mortars are firing, right? Okay, yeah, here come the shells. If they continue moving forward at exactly the same speed... Really, you guys were all thinking that it was the hero who needed to be shot. Well, okay. Get him, guys. Okay. I'm going to have the handgunners fall back a little bit, and this unit of swords come up. I'm not going to bother moving the pistols. Yeah, see how easily our units move through each other? It's really nice, actually.
With haste! Don't stop! No Gordon!
Alright. Pistols to break the charge, and then all the other guys get in. I'm going to have him move around and like really hit them in the back here. I want to get maximum damage to their morale. We got to be a little careful, because cavalry units are really good at disengaging and re-engaging. We do not want to leave ourselves open. And the mortars are still getting some work done. Are you attacking? Did you forget what you were supposed to be doing? Is that big rock confusing you? He's a little confused by the rock, it seems like. We're actually having a terrible time over here. On this side, we're at least getting something done. Have our fleet admiral himself cause some terror, perhaps?
Admiral!
Yes, Captain. Moving.
Alright, let's get our flank. Look, we've almost broken down this one unit. Okay, that guy's not really a threat. Actually, I'm going to have both of the mortars be firing at this guy. Those dudes are mostly under control. Yep, all of you stay on there. Let's have the Admiral turn around. Right, do your best to withstand that charge and be terrifying. See if we can't get Burke over here to fight these guys. I mean, the Haunter has taken no damage, despite the fact that he's... I don't know how he got all the way around to the front of them, though. I had you positioned where I had you for a reason there, man. Alright, somehow their lord is losing to a deckhand mob. Not really sure what's going on with that. That certainly shouldn't be happening. Deckhand mobs are incredibly bad at fighting. Alright, well, we got out of Burke Black's army about what I was hoping we would get out of him. The ability to break down a small amount of the Elven aggression while the other important armies do other important things. Alright, they're breaking. And of course, they were in march mode, so no retreat. Some good quick XP for Burke. I assume once we get him leveled up, we can install him in one of our offices. I'm not actually certain of that. I don't know if the legendary lords are maybe too proud to serve under Silostra, or, you know, we'll see. We'll see when we load out here. But if he can serve in office, he's probably pretty close to being able to do it, right? This battle might be enough to get him level 3. I guess he's not really fighting that many enemies per fight. And once we break these guys down, the question is, does Burke scour the inside of the island, or does he go to help Lenny? Ugh, these are both probably...
It is only my role.
Guess I'll take that. So yeah, he's more than halfway through level 3 already.
Good understudy.
Alright, what do I want to do with you? I probably want to get... Since you're a Death Admiral, we probably want to get into the spells. There's some pretty good spells in the Death School, but we probably want this first. The Hunger does make a Vampire Lord a pretty good fighter. Get ourselves a new unit of handguns. And then, honestly, for right now, I probably just want him to fall back to Lothern. He can help defend Lothern, and while he's here, he can do some recruiting. We still don't have the ability to get handgunners through the local recruitment pool. Are we one turn off on that? Oh, I have to actually build the building. Also, should definitely do this. At this point, that's quite a lot of gold. Yeah, that was 3,000, I think.
sea dog.
So, do we just wait, or do I start recruiting stuff? I probably don't start recruiting stuff from the global pool. Well, actually, his army needs some time to rebuild. Yeah, okay, actually, just grab a bunch of handgunners. We'll figure out more complicated stuff for you later. Right now, handgunners. And maybe a unit of deck gunners?
I'll order it.
Give us a little bit of extra ranged punch, especially since he only has 2 weak mortars. 2 kind of bad and untrained mortars. And then also a bloated corpse, I suppose. Alright, so in 2 turns his army's ready to rock again.
Madam, I lost a dear
Over here, everything is going splendidly. Just really swimmingly. Kraken's Pull... I dig speed reduction. I do think that's good, but this is way, way too expensive. It is not a good enough spell for 18 Winds of Magic. Alright, let's grab the Cyrene buff. Yeah, we're getting pretty close to rank 7 on a bunch of them. Speed, leadership, and melee defense up all sound pretty good.
There's potential.
We need 1 more skill point to be able to access Pyromaniac, which sounds pretty alright. So plus 10% range. Okay, it's 10% range at all levels. It's just more and more damage. Versus reload time reduction. Versus just straight missile damage. Oh, actually, this is armor piercing damage, not... I don't think this affects his gun. Probably is supposed to, but it doesn't say armor piercing missile damage. This is probably a bug. I will take the first point in this for the 10% range though. That is a no-brainer.
Next.
And Robert is finishing off replenishment, right?
Mirror.
Alright, if I cut down to normal movement, we won't be able to get to these guys anyway, so we may as well charge them. I am not worried about a unit of rebels. Oh, but we do have to recruit something here.
Siren of the storms.
I guess we could just grab some handguns for now. Yeah, we'll replace them once we get up here. I do not have time to spend a turn in recruitment stance, though.
Captain,
I have a rebellion that has to get put down. So Barrack Var is a relatively valuable port. Torca is not, really. How much would this be? 44.40 to set up an extra 600 something gold per turn. Yeah, that pays itself off pretty fast.
Blow it sky high. I have no equal.
Hopefully this does not get burned down in all of the violence.
Buccaneer of the dead.
What is the situation over here anyway?
My madness is request what you will. But who are you?
Alright, it was worth a try. So let's see. The dwarves are allied with the vampires at war with the greenskins. The dwarves are strength rank 2. Greenskins are strength rank 1. The dwarves only have 5 settlements to the 26 of the greenskin. Where are the vampires? Vampires have 17 and 10. Strength ranks 4 and 8. I think the greenskins should lose this war, but I'd be surprised if it resolved quickly. Alright, so basically it's just going to be a problem forever.
Captain, on deck.
Oh right, you are about to get me some treasure.
Thin out the cattle.
Got ourselves 4,000, only 4,000 gold. Ooh, and a trickster's helm. That is a pretty good piece of armor. Let's talk about gear. I have no idea how most of my characters are equipped right now. Lenny, what are you wearing?
On deck.
You have a pretty bad piece of gear in the armor slot, but like, what about...
My thirst.
We should give Burke something good, and that thing we just found definitely qualifies. Also, he should have a weapon. There's no sense in having him unarmed, even though we don't have any good weapons. Well, relic sword. It'll have to do for now. I don't think that I care about giving you Tide Call. The Opal Amulet wouldn't be terrible. Magic resistance reduction to people in an area. He is going to pick up a pretty powerful AoE damage spell. But maybe for now... You know what? He does already have a good damage spell. I'll just take this. He can debuff people when he shoots his Spirit Leech at them. Okay. This army is going to be in pretty good shape in 2 turns. Lothern is going to remain safe for a good long while. It is probably worth spending the money to get this. Like, we need to hold on to Lothern. It's important. It is worth spending money on. Alright, and with that, I think we're ready to go. Do we want to do anything with Lenny? Lenny is pretty much, I think, ready to push Harieth here.
Let us raid.
He's got ghosts, he's got a Morngull Haunter, he's got a lot of good guns. He doesn't have a ton of melee, and they do have a lot of chargey cavalry, but we do have a lot of guns. Like, some of the gunners are going to get charged, but the rest of them are going to get to shoot. Oh, I should also... Yes, Burke can be assigned to an office, so we just have to win, like, 2 battles with him. I'm going to go after this. I think we can crush this army here, and I think that that is going to bode very ill for them in the long term. Although, I guess we are only at 1 mortar right now. I wish I had another mortar. It is only 2 turns to recruit a mortar. Let's kick out the unit of handguns. I'm just going to fix his army up a little bit. Oh, except we don't actually have any money. Right, that's a problem. Well, honestly, the defenses in Lothern could probably wait a turn. I wanna get these recruits started right now. So we want another mortar in your army, and then I kind of want some sirens. Like, we don't need deckhands at all if we could have sirens instead.
Yes, master.
Yeah, I think that's a good change. We could fire 1 more unit of handgunners. How many guns is too many guns? Right now we have 5, 6, 7 melee units. Yeah, I'm gonna choose to be okay with that. And we're not going to buy any settlement upgrades that we could get with 1,400 gold. We gotta focus our gold on our larger settlements now. But overall, things are going really well. So we can see 3 armies of Lothern. This one is in pretty bad shape. Presumably there are more to the north. Oh, I mean, Avalorn has armies to the north. But we also know that there's some Dark Elf stuff going on up in the northwest, and they're at war with some of the High Elves. So presumably the High Elves cannot afford to direct their full force against me. Yeah, I think we are going to have Celostra just continue around the northern edge of the island, up past the rebellion that she's about to put down. So Lenny and Burke are going to have to manage on their own down here. Lenny's pretty powerful now. I'm a little bit less worried about him than I was. He's a good caster. He's got a mount. He's got actual good weapons. So Wurzag the Great Green Prophet there for a second. I am glad I don't have to get involved in all of this nonsense. This whole Badlands area always turns into such a bloodbath. And obviously, I would not shy away from a little bit of killing, but, like, the amount of time you have to devote to holding onto your territory down there. Everything's just, like, huge open plains and little wall-less settlements dotting them. We still never did figure out what's going on with the forces directly to the south of our jungle territories, but it seems like they're content to leave me alone, so that's good enough for me, really. We should try to figure out what the regiments of renown that we actually want are, and head in their general direction. Yes, we've been pretty busy, though. Okay, they have chosen to siege my city, which is certainly going to kill them. Oh, is the sword now controlling your decisions? Your power is absolute, a force to match the gods themselves, but your moods are permanently dark, your allies lose confidence, and your followers surely plot regicide. Yeah, good luck, guys. You reign over hollow lands and a desperate folk who now despise their sovereign. Will you give up this power to rule the world? Here's the thing, that's a lot of extra money lost, and that's a lot of public order down, but also the Sword of Cain will grow in power, and it's really useful. I'm going to keep it. We're going to hold on to it as long as we possibly can. Sword of Cain has fully merged with its current wielder. It will not be relinquished unless taken from its owner's corpse. So I assume that means the penalties are not going to get any worse? Yeah, she really needed 30% ward save. 35 melee attack, Jesus. They should not have brought me this sword. Alright, well, let's start with the really obvious thing. I bet we don't even have to manually do this fight. Their army is suffering serious attrition, it seems like. Yeah, they're like all torn up for some reason. And this wouldn't be very interesting. You know how this would go. I should probably have this equipped on somebody. Who wants a bonus versus large? This unit of sirens does. Yep, lost 45. That seems about right.
More valuable as a living audience.
She's going to be max level pretty soon. Alright, so that's a rebellion put down. We are still negative on public order here. Probably that's not going to change anytime soon. I'm just going to cap off the garrison in this settlement. I guess we actually probably should upgrade this just so that we can get a spot to build a public order building in. But you know, we're not that far off of being able to make Torivres level 5. That's what I really want. Yeah, I'm going to conserve population. We'll be okay. And Silustra is going to stop just on our side of the line, I think. We can get proper replenishment here for a turn. And since we can now afford to stop and do a little recruiting, what do I want to replace this extra unit of handgunners with? We could grab a unit of deck gunners. I actually would rather have the handgunners, I think. We could replace them with other units that are worse. Ray's Deadpool doesn't have anything cool in it. You know what? I think we're just keeping them for now. Like, I want to recruit the Sirens, but I don't want to sit still for 2 turns. Silustra's force is a very aggressive one. So we'll, as we push around the north side of the island here, we'll just dig for treasure every turn, because we know that treasure's around here somewhere. Actually, do we want to do any ship upgrades? We have the 12 population. You know what? It might be worth it at this point to just get the balcony finished. What does this do? Plus missile damage for my artillery, plus melee defense. Does cause us to just gain infamy every turn, which is completely useless. There's no reason to care about your infamy. You generate so much infamy so quickly. Oh, eventually it does increase the number of uses we get from our cannon abilities. Required to achieve campaign victory in the Vortex campaign. Okay, so that's why this building chain exists, because you have to have it in the other campaign. Well, yeah, I don't care about that at all. So, do we want to grab cannons? Get the Norse Roar army ability? I suppose. While we're sitting here still for a turn, we may as well finish upgrading her army. Are you headed toward anything in particular? Some are mortal creations. There is a riddle not too far to the south. I suppose we could run down there and try to get that.
Undead.
It was worth seeing what was going on up here, but I think let's get back in the water. And we did set up a reasonable cove. Lenny the Clotter. What am I going to do with you? So we can make him better at melee combat. He does engage in a lot of melee combat. We also could just give him more magic. There's a lot of good magic to be learned. I kind of want to pick up Lightning Strike with his army, though. Just to help us bash through the worst of the elves. So let's grab another level of blue here. Income from post-battle loot up. We do make a lot of money off of post-battle loot. Also could increase our settlement sacking income. We don't sack stuff that often, and we're not going to sack stuff on Ulthuan because we need to own it all. I'll take Freebooter. That seems pretty good. It's a lot of extra loot. You are sitting still. This guy, probably 10% physical resistance is significant, but maybe I want to take the ward save and just get onto this other stuff instead. Yeah, extra winds of magic for the army matters too. Gunnery White also is leveling up somehow. Everybody here is just gaining levels rapidly. Enchanted Ballistics is awesome. We definitely want that.
Admiral.
So yeah, you're not going anywhere, you're not going anywhere. Next turn, his army is going to be in great shape, though, and we definitely need to start threatening people. And is that really all of my... No. Viola did not take her turn. Well, I don't think we have any other treasure maps to explore up here. We got Erengrad, which is what I was really after.
I hunger for blood.
I guess let's just head home. It's going to take her forever to get anywhere, but...
Off deck. Move.
certainly nothing for us up in the mountains. Alright, let's see if Lothern's feeling brave. My suspicion is not so much. So we're holding okay on public order for the moment. I do need to go over all of our settlements one more time now that the public order penalty from the sword has increased, and make sure that we are actually holding steady. We haven't seen an army out of Avalorn in a while. It looks like they own the whole northern part of the island, both inside and outside of the mountain range. They must be very distracted. Well, if there are Dark Elves fighting their armies here on Ulthuan, we can probably push through those pretty quickly. If their armies are off fighting the Dark Elves on the continent instead, we can completely decimate their economy. If, however, it turns out that they have just had their armies sitting around on Ulthuan doing nothing, we might be in for kind of a slow push. I'm not afraid for Silostra. I think she can handle pretty much any army one-on-one, and probably can go one-on-two with a lot of people. But I am a little concerned about, slowness. I would like to get through dealing with Ulthuan as quickly as possible so that we can get back to sailing the high seas and doing cool pirate stuff. Also, I did totally forget to look for the relevant Regiment of Renown armies that I said I was going to do. We should do that as soon as the turn starts. Also, at some point in the near future, that exotic goods hauler is going to sail past Lothern, and when it does that, we definitely need somebody to go grab it. It looks like it's actually a pretty powerful army, so I'd like Lenny to be the one who goes chasing. And Burke Black can just keep fighting half-elf armies. Right, where is this guy right now? It's weird that most of the units in his army have no XP at all, but this unit of halberds is rank 7. It looks like we got a couple of turns before they're close. Right, a bunch of stuff that doesn't affect me is happening. Also, Lenny Sealegs is back. He's angry. Oh, the curse of the Sword of Cain. We have possessed the Sword of Cain for too long. She now causes fear when fighting elves, but her leadership aura is weakened. Yeah, whatever. That penalty to public order in her local region is not a real problem. She is not going to be in friendly territory very much. What do I want to do with you? It kind of looks like they're not letting me get on land here. Whatever. Just get over there. We'll figure it out.
Ready. Voyaging. Salute your betters.
Yeah, I don't really know what the plan is with this one. I suppose what I should do is get back in the water as quickly as possible.
On my way.
Probably the fastest way back. And then we have some armies that need some orders.
Yes, my pretty.
Man, she's fast. Well, let's go claim this.
For me.
Walls, but only 11 units. Should be pretty trivial.
Need more ground.
What? A unit of sirens died. That's very unlikely. Apparently we're going to have to manually fight all of these little settlement battles. Ooh, boy, I do want to sack it. No, we need to just own everything. Sacking these things is going to slow us down a lot, and there's not really a ton of benefit from it.
Madame, I lost a dear fan.
Okay, well, apparently we're 4 turns off of having the reduced recruitment time for sirens. I probably should not be recruiting more gunners right now. I guess I'll just take a unit of, like, bad handgun, or bad melee. Oh, the raised dead pool in this region actually has cool stuff in it. Well, I guess Mourngulls, maybe? Or Depth Guard with pole arms might be nice. We're not really that good at fighting large units with our melee. The pole arm Depth Guard also have considerably more melee defense. Yeah, alright, welcome aboard. Also, I'm losing mortars and stuff. Auto-resolve is bad for us. Okay, so we have just a handful more skill points. I would like to eventually get Necrofex Colossi going, so maybe it's worth picking up Hardened by Death now before we run out of skill points. This buffs the Depth Guard. We do already have 1 unit of Depth Guard that would benefit from this. I'm thinking maybe we take both of these and then just, like, finish up a couple of yellow skill points or something. Yeah, let's cap off her commanding abilities. This settlement, man, has just, like, absolutely nothing going. Well, let's probably get a functional garrison and a plunder pile. We're also going to need a public order building, without question. Somewhere we have unassigned skill points. Jim Anderoff, the Mourngul Haunter. How long do I think he's going to stay in this army? It's probably reasonable to leave him here for a while. Why don't we pick up Killing Cold? He can still rush out to pick off enemy units, or enemy heroes, if that makes sense. What do I want to do with you? How did I leave an empty slot in this army? Well, what makes the most sense? Do I want to go over here and start cleaning up this stuff? They are mustering an army, although, wow, it does not have a lot of actual bodies in it. Very hero-heavy army. Maybe I want to just go in and clean up all this stuff, and Silostra and Burke can meet at, like, the Phoenix Gate. Because there are a couple of places where you could pass through the mountain range. But no, let's send him over to help with the problems that Lenny is having. I'm going to take the Tower of Lysine right now. That should be completely trivial.
More blood, more power.
Got ourselves a Wand of Jet. Increases our ability recharge rate, but gives us more magic. And we've got a new treasure map. It rises from Manon's firmament like a tooth, unfettered from a yearning maw. But this Fang's crown may be worth more than mere gold. Where is that? Huh. Okay, well, we found something for Viola to do.
Darkness comes.
Also, do we want to buff Spirit Leech? Overcasting Spirit Leech just increases its range, which is not useless, but it's also not, like, super important. I think I want to take Ghost Fleet on him before we make any other moves. His army is replenishing rapidly.
Never.
Veron could probably take him out.
All
So we
bones
need
on
to
deck.
do something right now. Lenny's army's in pretty great shape. I think we can take him. Let's go take him.
slay these cattle. Get them.
Alright, we definitely need to manual this. Strider is going to have actually no benefit, almost certainly. I'll put it on Enrialdo. We definitely want him to be able to move quickly. Alright, let's have at them. This will be a good way to end the episode. If we break this army down, Tyrion's position is going to be considerably weaker, and he already feels that his position is so weak that he's not willing to leave the walled settlement that he's hiding in. So I have to imagine this is going to start some desperation. And then the two of these armies together can work their way up the mountain range toward the westernmost of those gates. And once we have control of that, it's going to be so much easier to get around. The gates are tough to take. They're very, very well defended. I have no doubt in my mind that Silostra can take one by herself, though. They're just going to start in the middle of the open field. I suppose the thing to do is just mortar crews here, and then Syrenes, Gunners, Syrenes, Gunners.
Sea prey.
Unselect you, reselect you, reselect you. Okay. So now we are semi-ready for cavalry charges. Got our melee and ranged interspersed here. I think Enrialdo definitely needs to just stay close. Keep the gunnery white over here. Lenny over here, and Enrialdo over here, just that there's lots and lots of leadership auras everywhere. Okay. I have hope. So this gunnery white has enchanted ballistics already. May as well use it. Oh, he's not actually close enough to the mortars. And we definitely want to drop some mortars on their ranged, particularly the Sea Guard, I think. I'm not worried about the archers. We can take out the archers. And I'm definitely not worried about the spearmen. I'm worried about ranged and cavalry are usually pretty good at avoiding mortar fire. Not 100% consistently.
Instructions.
Yeah, that's looking pretty good. One of these units of mortars is very accurate on its own. They really do just have a lot of bodies, though, huh? I'd be lying if I said I wasn't worried about that part. Just very numerous. Okay, so they are stopping to fire. Are they actually in range of me? Yes, these units do not have the ability to outrange me by very much. Alright, well, in that case, just keep shooting. Do we want to specifically target anybody? Not really. Oh, it looks like we might have to move forward a little bit. Here, you guys should definitely fire into the Sea Guard. We'll start with the ones on the outside. And since we are now closing to range, it's like a fine time to send the melee forward. You guys all have targets. Probably step forward and actually hit those archers. You can step forward and shoot at these guys. I would imagine the Syrenes are going to be pretty powerful in this battle. They don't really have anything good to counter us with.
Gunnery more. Gunnery wide.
Where's their lord? My gunnery white. Just shoot at their lord. Oh, hey. Hey, man. Don't just stop. I know I only told you to go this far forward, but actually go much further forward. Now, we do want to be careful with him because he is large, so I would prefer to have him not messing with spearmen directly, and it is worth remembering that Lothar and Sea Guard are spearmen. They're just spearmen with bows. Actually, this is kind of awkward. I might want to just spread out wide here and play defensively because I don't really want to commit and let a lot of enemies run around me. Make sure that all of our Cyrene units are set to spread wide. Lenny is also large now, which is a little bit of a detriment to us. He's gonna take a little bit more damage than he used to.
Fight!
Gotta get those casts going. Cyrenes are actually really experiencing some serious morale issues. It's a little surprising to me. Because they should have this well under control. Wow, look at that unit just getting carved up. Start focusing on the horses. We need to keep Lenny casting here. So first of all... Oh, that has a really short range. No sense in not keeping that on cooldown as well. And then... We could overcast our... We could overcast our invocation, but actually I don't know that we need to make it an area effect thing right now. I know that sounds crazy, why would you not want more healing, but like we're actually pretty isolated. Especially the units that have damage on them are pretty isolated. You can start focusing on those guys. You probably can still keep doing that. You are probably close enough for a good cackle fruit. No? Am I wrong? There you go. We got guys running too far forward, getting all discombobulated. Now let's try to make sure that we are taking out the things that are actually posing a threat to the Cyrenes wherever we can. I'm going to have these guys focus on the Illyrian Reavers. I'm going to have these guys back the hell up a little bit. You three do not need to keep shooting at them, so just start shooting into this mass of spears. I'm going to turn guard mode on for these guys. I do not want them pursuing enemies. You three should probably make sure those Illyrian Reavers actually die. My big concern on this side is that these Reavers are going to, as soon as they're not being chased by this thing anymore, they're going to suddenly remember what courage is, and they're going to turn around and just murder my handgunners. So we need to make sure we stay on that. But we've done a good job. A lot of their units are low health or broken or breaking. We just got to keep on top of our spell casting. We're going to cast every single time we have a spell available, because we got to keep those pulses of healing energy going. We're getting some okay damage out here. You guys get that buff. It is definitely overcast invocation time. Oh, maybe not. I'd like, really, this is the unit that needs it. And they're not in range of anybody else who needs healing. This is exactly what I was afraid of. Gunnery White's doing what he can. Got a lot of mortar fire going into their ranged. Try to pull the handgunners back, see if we can buy some time with our incoming guys here. Okay, those guys are breaking, so let's get this over here. Right, this is a good time for an overcast invocation. Alright. They did some good damage with their horses, but ultimately, I think, not enough. Looking very, very successful.
Get them!
And what are you guys going to shoot at? I guess just those same dudes? Are we close enough to... We are, in fact, close enough to deliver a little bit of ammo. I think I actually want to hit the mortars with it. A little bit of cackle fruit. I wish there was a good way to tell exactly how much healing you had gotten out of a caster. I'm gonna have these handgunners actually try to get over here and just shoot into the back of this group. 'Cause that's really the next thing that needs to be done. Henry's doing some fine work over here. Alright, Henry. Go show their lord who's boss. And yeah, check out how resilient the sirens are. This is wonderful. Okay. That's the end of that. I think they're about to, yeah, completely shatter. Sirens are awesome. I am happy that we have them and kind of bummed out we didn't get them earlier. Okay, that was a much more normal battle. We've gotten to do a lot of really, really silly things off of the back of the fact that Silostra is dramatically overpowered. Just really insane. Even, like, Silostra herself, even without considering all of the free stuff she summons, but also, she sure does get to summon a lot of good free stuff. I got lots of kills here. We should see a lot of good leveling on our troops. I think at this screen you already see them with their new levels reflected. We've got a lot of handgunners crawling through those silver ranks. The sirens apparently still need a little bit of a push. Well, this should be good XP for all of the heroes in this army too.
The God's victory. It's mine.
Yep, not a bad reward.
This is pirate land now.
And we have a real battle marker here. So what is in the pool? Nothing. Nothing is in the pool. Is this marker from that battle? Yes, it actually is. Okay. It seems like the value of a battle marker doesn't really show up right away. Let's go for public order right now. This costs us loyalty per turn, or infamy per turn, but like actually, who cares? I care the minimum possible amount about that, I think. Yeah, improve the growth building, I suppose. It is an extra 10 growth. And it does reduce the public order penalty from the fact that we're still very low on vampire corruption. Oh, hey, look! Alariel's back. Well,
Admiral of the fleet.
unfortunately, Burke is going to have to fall back to defend Lothern, it looks like. This push may have to stop for the moment. Let's do one more round of enemy turns here, and then we will call it when we are prepared for action on this coming turn. We're doing some fine work against these elves. Still an awful lot of elven heroes running around that I really just don't have the time to fight. Oh, interesting. Tyrion's going to meet up with Alariel. They're probably going to push for Lothern. Well, we have two armies in place to play defense, and we still get to push forward with Silostra and devastate their economy. I'm feeling pretty okay about it. I think we're going to be fine. I think they waited too long. If they had come after us while we were still fighting lizardmen and stuff, we'd be in really bad shape. As it is now, I am firmly established. I will say, though, that if they actually do get to bring Alariel's full stack, which looked fairly impressive, plus Tyrion's fairly impressive full stack, against our two much less impressive armies, it is going to be, at the very least, a challenge. Although if we get to do it in Lothern, obviously that does make things a little bit easier. A lot of great big vampire armies sailing for the Badlands here. This is really interesting what's happening over here. I wish we had time to pay more attention to it. But there's just a lot of other stuff going on. A lot of much more important stuff. What was that guy? That guy's name was just like gibberish characters, it looked like. Vampire names are weird now. They have a whole like weird bloodline system where they're recruiting special lords of various dynasties, and I am interested in playing Vampire Counts again, now with all of their new stuff, but unfortunately, that is probably a distant future sort of concern. Kislev is actually still more powerful than I am. Yeah, they're going to hold on to Erengrad for us. Oh, and I keep forgetting to look at this. Okay, we're going to do that before we stop here. Looks like a lot of those armies are pretty close. And Leonard is continuing to sail. I suppose falling back to Lothern does put me in a better position to catch the exotic goods hauler. Alright, the Crooked Moon are doing stuff. It's kind of whatever, I don't care. They're stealing technology and influence, also kind of whatever, I don't care. I suppose they might be going after Elisali, which I would let them have. But we're going to stop after we look at the pieces of 8 here. Alright, so zombie pirate deckhands, don't care about that. A mob of handgunners. Let's see what the actual traits of that Regiment of Renown are. Handgunners with charge defense against large foes, bonus damage versus large, but it looks like it's just on their attack. So it's like a unit of halberd guys with rifles. Not actually better at the things you would want a rifle unit to be better at, it seems like. What else? Where are the other ones? Over here we have the Rotting Prometheans guys. I'm not that concerned about that. Here is Deck Droppers. Here's Morngulls. Up here we have the Blood Reaver Deck Guard. Depth Guard with polearms. That I'm interested in. And this one is Deck Gunners. Okay. So let's see about those other two. Deck Gunners, right, Deck Gunners that actually have Shield Breaker. Oh, and they're ethereal. That's interesting. Night Terrors. The Depth Guard with... What do these guys have that's special? They have Enrage. That's certainly something. That's an awful lot of damage resistance. They have the Hunger, which is not a thing that most Depth Guard have. And Frenzy. These guys seem awesome, actually. Yeah, 44 attack, 54 defense. 30 bonus versus large. These guys seem great. I want them. There's also a Necrofex Colossus here. How do you get this? Once you have attained the Cursed Bullion of Bogenhofen. Did I miss one? Maybe they're just in a place we've never seen before? Maybe it doesn't show us all of them. I thought it showed us all of them. Maybe we have to have seen them at least once. Well, it would be really cool if we could find the time to sail up here and grab... Oh, it's this navy, though. It's the one that's furthest away. Well, something to consider, I suppose. Probably not actually a high priority. And that is going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Come back next time as we continue to slaughter and conquer. Things are going really well, and I expect them to continue. And we'll see you then.